Okay, so now that you've seen that video on Jefferson's duality, um, and gotten to know a little bit more about who he was as a man, I want to talk about what he's going to do as president. And so for this section, we're going to focus on, how Jefferson's election is really going to mark a reversal in American politics from what the Federalists had accomplished. Remember, think of what happened under Washington's administration, under Adams's administration. So primarily for Jefferson, like the number one thing on the list is to undo what the Federalists had done. Okay, so his domestic policies are going to focus primarily on number one, reducing the size of the government, also navigating and developing the first national court system, and then of course expanding what he saw as the agrarian republic. So for number two and number three, I want you to, click on the following videos to come for more information on that. For now, we're going to focus on reducing the size of the government first. Okay, so right off the bat, remember, yeah, TJ, right, Thomas Jefferson is focusing primarily on doing one thing and one thing more than anything, and that is shrink the size of the federal government. And so what that means is going to be, two major cutbacks here, right? Number one, it's going to repeal lots of Hamilton's taxes. Remember from Hamilton's financial plan, remember the Whiskey Rebellion and all of that. For him, of course, the goal here is to, if you remove those taxes, then you're eliminating a number of federal employees and federal positions there. So you're actually cutting back costs as well. If you reduce those excise taxes, goods are going to become cheaper, which is great for his base, for his supporters. But, it's good for the constituency, but it is going to raise some problems. Remember, what was the whole purpose of taxes in the first place? It's to raise revenue, right? So that the government can have money to function. And one of the reasons why all of his, not all of them, but why this action specifically is going to result in the opposite of what he wanted. So we're going to end up in the same position as we were before. Remember that we didn't have money to pay the Army, to pay the Navy, or any of that. So that's essentially what's going to happen here. We're foreshadowing what's going to come. The next step for Jefferson in reducing the size of the government is to cut back the military. Okay, for Jefferson, this is the biggest expense. He really wants to ensure that, we have a military, but that it's small and that, that it's consistent with, keeping costs down. Really, it's all about just being able to maintain a small army for the frontier and a tiny navy. Again, this is about reducing costs, reducing the size of government power. And more than anything, part of the reason for reducing the size of the military is because he is afraid of, a standing army. And this is one of those things where it's one of those decisions that is going to come back to haunt him. He's going to live to regret it, because ultimately we're reverting back to a time period where we didn't have the military power to defend our borders, so to speak. And so we're going to talk more about that in the minutes to come, okay? So here's the thing. What can the Federalists do about the changes that Jefferson's administration is bringing? Well, not much. They're a minority party at this point. They are completely powerless to stop him. And, he's just undoing all of the things that the Federalists had accomplished. And like I said, he's going to live to regret that more than anything else, okay? So, for the next lecture on developing the court system, please go ahead and scroll down to the next video to come, okay? See you then.